There's a moment in your financial journey when everything clicks. The confusion, the mistakes, the frustration. Suddenly, it all makes sense. You finally understand money. Not intellectually, everyone knows you should save and invest, but deeply, viscerally, emotionally. You understand that money is time, freedom, and options. You understand that every dollar spent is a choice between consumption today and freedom tomorrow. You understand that wealth isn't about income. It's about the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And once you understand this, everything changes. Your decisions change. Your priorities change. Your relationship with money fundamentally transforms. I'm Kyle, and today I'm breaking down what happens when you finally understand money, the psychological shift, the behavioral changes, the social consequences, the regrets about wasted time, and why most people never reach this understanding. This isn't theory. It's the awakening that separates those who build wealth from those who stay broke forever. Let's dive in. The first thing that happens is clarity replaces confusion. For years, maybe decades, money felt like a mystery. You didn't know why some people got rich and others stayed broke. You didn't understand why your salary never felt like enough. You made decisions randomly, buying things because they seemed good, saving sporadically when you felt motivated, investing in whatever was trending. But when you finally understand money, clarity hits like lightning. You realize wealth is simple math. Income minus expenses equals savings. Savings invested over time equals wealth. It's not complex. It's not secret. It's brutally simple, and that simplicity is liberating. You stop searching for hacks, shortcuts, or magic strategies. You realize the path is clear. Earn more, spend less, invest the difference, wait decades. That's it. No mystery, no complexity, just discipline and time. This clarity transforms everything because you finally know exactly what to do. The second thing that happens is you see money as time. Before understanding, money was abstract, numbers in an account, something to spend on things you wanted. But after understanding, you realize every dollar represents time you traded for it. If you earn $50 an hour, that $200 dinner cost you 4 hours of your life. That $40,000 car cost you 800 hours, 20 weeks of work. Every purchase is a time trade, but it goes deeper. Every dollar invested becomes future time. $10,000 invested at 8% becomes $100,000 in 30 years. That $100,000 generates $8,000 a year passive income. 160 hours of freedom you don't have to work. When you see money as time, spending becomes painful. That $5 coffee isn't $5. It's 6 minutes of work now or $38 of future wealth. Every purchase is stealing from your future freedom. This realization makes you ruthlessly intentional. You stop wasting money because you're not wasting money, you're wasting time. The third thing that happens is consumption loses its appeal. Before understanding, you wanted things, new cars, big houses, expensive clothes, fancy vacations. Society conditioned you to equate consumption with success. But after understanding, consumption looks hollow. You realize that $50,000 car becomes $20,000 in 5 years. You lost $30,000 for temporary status. That luxury apartment costs $1,000 a month more than a modest one, $12,000 a year wasted, or $1.87 million over 30 years if invested. Every consumption choice is a wealth destruction choice. And for what? To impress people who don't care and can't afford their own lifestyles? The dopamine hit from buying things fades in days, but the compound cost lasts decades. Once you understand this, consumption becomes repulsive. You see through the marketing, the social pressure, the illusion. You realize most consumption is just insecurity dressed up as success. And you stop participating. The fourth thing that happens is freedom becomes the priority. Before understanding, you optimized for comfort, status, and fitting in. You wanted the nice car so people respected you, the big house so family was impressed, the expensive lifestyle so you felt successful. But after understanding, you realize none of that matters. The only thing that matters is freedom, the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, without financial constraints. And freedom requires wealth. Wealth requires saving and investing for decades. So you reorganize your entire life around one goal: build wealth as fast as possible to buy freedom as early as possible. Everything else, status, comfort, appearance, becomes irrelevant. You're not optimizing for what others think. You're optimizing for freedom. And that shift in priority changes every decision you make. The fifth thing that happens is you become incompatible with most people. Once you understand money, you can't unsee it. You watch people finance $60,000 cars they can't afford, and you're horrified. You see friends spend $10,000 on vacations while carrying credit card debt, and you're confused. You hear family members complain about being broke while buying new iPhones, and you're frustrated. Their financial decisions, which used to seem normal, now look insane, and you can't relate anymore. You're thinking in decades, they're thinking in weeks. You're optimizing for freedom, they're optimizing for comfort. You're building wealth, they're signaling status. The gap becomes unbridgeable. You try explaining that car payment is costing you $1 million in future wealth. They don't get it. They think you're cheap, obsessed, or boring. So you stop explaining. You stop engaging. And you accept. Understanding money makes you incompatible with most people. The sixth thing that happens is regret about wasted time. Once you understand money, you look back at your 20s, maybe 30s, and realize, I wasted years. I spent $40,000 on things I don't even remember. I financed cars, I inflated lifestyle, I saved nothing. If I'd understood money at 22 instead of 32, I'd have 10 extra years of compounding. That's $200,000 to $500,000 in lost wealth. That's 5 to 10 years of lost freedom. This regret is painful. You can't buy back time. You can't undo mistakes. The only option is to start now and optimize aggressively going forward. But the regret lingers. You watch younger people make the same mistakes and you want to shake them. You don't understand what you're losing. But they don't listen because you didn't listen either when you were them. The harsh truth, most people only understand money after wasting a decade, and that wasted decade costs them half their potential wealth. The seventh thing that happens is discipline becomes automatic. Before understanding, saving and investing required willpower. You had to force yourself to skip purchases, resist temptation, and contribute to accounts. It was a constant battle. But after understanding, discipline becomes effortless. It's not willpower, it's clarity. You don't need to force yourself to skip the $200 dinner because you see it as $1,500 of future wealth. The choice is obvious. You don't resist buying the $50,000 car. You don't even want it because you see the $380,000 opportunity cost. Decisions that used to require effort now require none. You're not sacrificing, you're choosing. You're not depriving yourself, you're investing in freedom. This shift from forced discipline to automatic clarity is profound. You stop feeling like you're missing out because you realize everyone else is missing out. They're missing out on freedom because they can't delay gratification. You're the one winning.
The eighth thing that happens is you start optimizing aggressively. Once you understand money, you can't tolerate waste. Every inefficiency, subscriptions you don't use, fees you're paying, expenses you haven't optimized, becomes intolerable. You audit everything. You cut subscriptions. You refinance debt. You switch to lower-cost providers. You negotiate bills. You track every dollar. You increase income through job switches and side hustles. You automate investments. You max out tax-advantaged accounts. You become obsessive about optimization because every dollar saved is a step closer to freedom. This can go too far. Some people optimize so hard they can't enjoy life. But most people who understand money find balance. They're ruthless about eliminating waste, but strategic about spending on things that truly matter. The difference is intentionality. Before understanding, spending was unconscious. After understanding, every dollar is a deliberate choice. The ninth thing that happens is you see the matrix. You realize society is designed to keep you broke. Marketing conditions you to consume. Social media makes you feel inadequate, so you spend to keep up. Credit cards enable debt. Car dealerships upsell houses. Real estate agents underpay and overwork you. The entire system is engineered to extract money from you and keep you trapped in the rat race. But once you understand money, you see through it. You stop falling for ads. You ignore influencers. You reject financing. You live below your means. You prioritize wealth over status. You're playing a different game than everyone else. They're playing the consumption game. Who has the nicest stuff? You're playing the freedom game. Who retires earliest? And once you see the matrix, you can't unsee it. You're awake, and everyone else looks asleep. The 10th thing that happens is you realize how few people will ever understand. You try explaining to friends, family, coworkers. Compound interest is magic. Save 30% of income. Invest in index funds. Avoid debt. You'll be wealthy in 20 years. They nod politely and do nothing. They hear the words but don't internalize them. They can't see 20 years ahead. They're stuck in the present, optimizing for today, ignoring tomorrow. And you realize most people will never understand. Not because they're stupid, but because understanding requires accepting uncomfortable truths. You've wasted years. You're making terrible decisions. You need to sacrifice for decades. Most people can't handle that. They'd rather stay in denial and hope it works out. So you stop trying to convince them. You focus on your own journey. You find the 1 to 2% who do understand and build relationships with them. Everyone else, you wish them well, but accept they'll stay broke. At the core, understanding money is an awakening. Clarity replaces confusion. Money becomes time. Consumption loses appeal. Freedom becomes priority. You become incompatible with most people. Regret about wasted time hits. Discipline becomes automatic. Optimization becomes obsessive. You see the matrix, and you realize most people will never get it. But understanding isn't enough. You have to act. Start today. Automate 30% of income to investments. Track every dollar. Eliminate waste. Resist lifestyle inflation. Optimize expenses. Increase income, and commit to decades of discipline. Tell me in the comments, when did you finally understand money, and what changed? Understanding is the beginning. Execution is everything. Let's build wealth together.